this is Gongwen Lee coming to you from Fate of the Empress. And today I wanted to talk to you about something called pageant. Now, when you're first in the game, this is going to seem strange even that it's in the game, but it's actually a very important part of the game, and it plays into a lot of the costume type things. So you have something to do with your costume other than archive it for might. So let's talk about how to get loot from pageant and how to compete. So the first thing you want to do is go to the dailies menu, go to flash events, and then view pageant. So this is the third and final day of preliminaries, and I've already entered all but my very last chance, which I have to purchase for ingots. And we'll go over the scoring and those two things in a minute, but first let's take a look at rewards. So this is the preliminary rewards, and based on the position you end up at the end of the preliminary, these are the rewards that you could receive. So at the top here we have some star coins, and those can be used in the exchange shop for designs and other materials. We have some red love flowers. These are used in the pageant on yourself, so you can actually support yourself to a win for free if you collect enough of these to beat everybody else's points. So it gives you 100 popularity for yourself in the pageant, and that goes towards your total score. And the third thing is cloud silk. Now, cloud silk is a very rare material for costumes, and it's especially needed for, I think, fabled costumes. And so if you are able to get some cloud silk, this is a very nice win. And then 10 to 20, you get 1,000 star coins also, but you get these rosy life red flowers, these little red roses. And these are to vote for other people. So in the fashion show, your popularity increases 100 for the person that you vote for, and your personal charm increases 10%, and your friendliness with that person increases 10 points each. If you are in fact friends with them, your friendliness will also increase 10 points. And then it goes on down the row, but those are the different loot you can win in preliminary. The final has a different set of loot, and that's for the top 9. You see this top 9. Those are the ones who get into the final. And then the final has epic gear chest, soft fondle flower. Oops. And that was a surprise, but it takes you to the costume that you can win if you win 2 pageants. And they don't have to be in a row, just 2 pageants won, and you can win this costume, which is helpful for your archive. And then also you get some coins, which not too much of a big deal, but still helpful. So number 2, you get the epic gear chest and some bouquet flowers, some flowers again for number 3, and then 4 through, it says 10, but there is no 10, so that's really confusing, but 4 through 9 gets a Phoenix gear pack with 1 elite gear in it, which, if you're first starting out, these are extremely good rewards. So don't skip pageant if you possibly can. Okay, so that's the rewards that you can get. Here is the exchange shop where you can spend your star coins. I find this very useful, especially at first when you need materials, and these provide, there's 2 more chests that I buy out pretty much every week here because I still need those materials, but at first you'll also need some of these like satin brocade, plain silk, and plain silk, and other things. Excuse me, I have a little cold. So this is a great place to come, and it also has a lot of pretty designs and things you can get to build for your archive. So useful, and definitely wouldn't skip it, especially if you like the costumes at all in this game. Okay, so let's talk about this little rating under here. 4 stars, 4.9 stars. So that is actually a multiplier for your score. And you achieve a higher multiplier here by going to the vote button and voting. So let's see. You can refresh up to 3 times, and then you need to pick someone to vote for if you don't see the person that you were hoping to vote for. So I was hoping to vote for my in-game teammate and partner Shuang, but I'm not finding him right now, so maybe he hasn't changed this morning. So if you change, you get put into this pile, or if you're higher in rank, hey Val, if you're higher in the ranking, then you show up more in that voting system. So changing often, make sure you change at least twice a day. Really, to get in top 9, if you have an older server, it's probably going to take 3 times a day. So you'd have to purchase another turn. But definitely getting in and being sure that you're voting. Voting also gives you these pageant reward boxes, which have some of this attire tickets, which you can buy materials with. That's really good, and sometimes dye. So definitely worth it to come in and vote, because not only do you get a multiplier boost, but you also get some loot. Okay, so let's take a look at the rankings list. We've got, that's my guild leader there. Hey, Yue. And there's me. And then on down the list, all the way down. And so if you're looking for someone in particular, that's Shuang, then you can find out what outfit they're wearing to find them when you're voting easier. Or, if you're friends and teammates, you can remind them to change. I mean, depending on what your agreements are in game or what your friendliness level is. So that's the rankings. I'm currently number 2. I'm going to go ahead and just to show you the process and talk a little bit about costume selection, I'm going to go ahead and purchase this option and then go into change. So when you change, it takes you to your costume menu. Now you can click this little button for manifesto and enter something fun to say. I think that the theme this time is Moon Banquet, so I'm just going to be goofy, Moonshine Love, call it good. And then you post it. If you have time and a little energy, you can come up with something creative, but that's an option. You can use manifesto. You can also say save it so that you don't have to change it every time. And then you're going to go over to your costume list. Now you have hair, dresses, and ornaments, and possibly later in the game you'll have masks, handheld, or other. Other is saved, sorry. But handheld and mask, I don't have any of those yet, even though I'm a couple months into the game, but some people might. Okay, so you're gonna see the list of hair. It is almost always listed in terms of how many points that's gonna give you. So this will give me 1,300 points. This one's gonna give me 1,303. It's listed farther down on the list. This one down here, 890 points. So when you're first getting going, like maybe you only have these little 890 point hair, and that's fine because most of the people on your server are going to have that same level of costume. But as you get going farther, you're going to want to make sure that you're using your higher points are over here where the flashing dots are, your higher point items. So sometimes I do the first costume of the day as sort of a throwaway mishmash, just trying to get the highest points possible, and then an hour later I change so I don't look stupid too long. But usually I try to look nice because that's the point of pageant, yeah? So let's see, moon, I think, oh, that's nice. So this is, and also you can't reuse the same item twice. You see down here, the bottom, it has these red participated. that means if I used that item again, it actually would not count the points for me. So you can only use items once. All right, so going back up, let's see what hair would look nice with this. That looks pretty okay. That definitely doesn't match. That looks pretty good. I really love this hair, but I don't think it's a good match. So maybe this time I'll just pick simple. Do a little simple. The costume is pretty. No, now you're gonna see all my indecision. So I play around with this a lot because I really enjoy the costumes in this game. That's one of the things that I feel is really nice. And then you go to ornament and pick one that you feel is pretty good for this. I'm going to change the hair. It's just not working for me. Yeah, I'll go with that one. So the final change you have of the day, you want to make it look the best you can in order to get more votes, because that's the one that's going to spend the most time in that voting section. So make sure your last outfit looks decent. I think this is pretty good. Let's see if we have any other ornaments that might go better. Maybe this one. That's kind of cute. Okay, let's go for that. But you can also, use a cape if it matches or something else. That's a little too casual. So go back to I think that's cute. Okay. And it's a little different than what other people would maybe pick. So that's another thing, is maybe try to distinguish yourself from the straight, matching everything costume, the 3 pieces from the same costume fit, because other people might be doing that and then you won't stand out. So try to stand out a little, but also look really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and submit this, and then I'll be judged. Which is what pageant's all about, right? Judging. So these little bubbles show up. This is my score, and I got an excellent score. It's hard to get a perfect score in this pageant without fabled or legendary costumes. So if you're just getting excellent or really good scores, don't be hard on yourself. That's kind of how it works. So you work with what the costumes give you. All right, so that's how to handle preliminary pageant. I hope that this was a helpful walkthrough for everyone, and you see that my participation level garnered me 6 stars after changing and voting. So be aware that there is a multiplier in this and that it is based on your participation. So if you're looking to win top 9 or to win the pageant completely, then you need to understand the scoring and how it works, and this is the first step. But things in the final work very differently, so I'm going to do a separate video about that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, comments, or other feedback, other information about pageant or costumes, please feel free to leave comments, and have a wonderful